All right, hello. Day 2 of remote learning for Gugrit's Global History class. I apologize if there's a lot of doohickeys or whatever on the screen. I'm going to try to, play around with the tools a little bit. All right, so let's get started. We are going to go over a couple of documents, mainly like to help us with the CRQ. So we're going to do a little bit of development and context, but also reliability today for 2 separate documents, and then be able to work on CRQ number 3, right, which is explaining the cause and effect relationship between the 2 documents. So how document 1 causes document 2. Okay, so I will model document 7, or for our purposes, document 1. So let me change that now while I'm thinking about it. Sorry for all of that delay. And document 2, because this is, I guess, how you will usually see it, not 7 and 9. But you should really be thanking me. There was like 15 documents. I only chose 2 of them. So, okay, we can begin. All right, so first we'll annotate the document, read it, look at it, go over it, okay? Document 1, German food crisis becoming worse. Professor Jenks estimates that 3 million children will need meals. Rich Germans aid poor. Unemployment wave, he explains, is sweeping the country, and children are first victims. Okay, so those are like the headlines up here, and then going as in like the little more minor details of it. Bear with me, it's a little difficult to read, but I will do my best. Berlin, February 16th. Professor Jeremiah W. Jenks, returning to Germany after 2 months' absence, says he finds increased suffering among children as a result of the unemployment wave which is sweeping the country. Children are always the first victims of such economic conditions, said Professor Jenks today. Everything points to a crisis in the spring, which will necessitate feeding 3 million children instead of the 750,000 now fed by the Allen Committee funds. According to the best available information, the German government and the people are doing 50 times as much general relief as all outside sources combined. Statistics show that 2/3 of the expense of all child feeding is being borne by Germans. The chief burden of this work automatically falls upon the big industrialists, bankers, and the agriculturalists, farmers, as the heaviest taxpayers. But in addition, they are giving freely as individuals. So I think what he's saying is like, this is a German problem and we're all working to help it. A leading banker has personally assumed 50% of all relief work in one of Germany's largest commercial centers. Hugo Steins is employing 2 secretaries with a staff of assistants solely to look after his widespread relief work. Steins provides the entire upkeep of the municipal kitchens, foundlings' homes, and the home for nursing mothers in Mulheim, adjoining his own house, and contributes to a long list of hospitals, institutions, students, and middle-class canteens and scientific research institutions throughout Germany. Large numbers of shame-faced poor, including needy artists, writers, and disabled officers, who owe their existence to him in the present crisis. Under no circumstances does Herr Steins permit his name to be used in connection with his relief work, which cannot be computed in cash. All right, so I guess just one person, Hugo Stein, is really just trying to help out. That's what we can see in this paragraph here. Okay, now down a little farther. August Thiessen is supporting fresh air homes for over 33,000 children, most of whom he knows by name. The Zeiss works are carrying on 2/3 of all the relief work done in Jena and other centers, mill owners and mine owners' kitchens are supplying hospitals and soup kitchens with flour and coal. It is estimated that the big landowners of 3 of Germany's largest agricultural provinces have contributed relief amount of $12 million in cash value, besides providing homes for 350,000 child refugees from the ruhr. This relief cases might be multiplied hundreds of times, but owing to the decentralized character of relief work in Germany and traditional aversion to publicity, it is hard to get statistics. Okay, so that was a lot, probably more than we needed to read from it, but we can definitely figure out what's going on. Okay, right. Ultimately, this Professor Jenks says that there's going to be 3,000 children that are going to be hungry, and that there are some people trying to help out. So let's quickly review what we looked at yesterday. Remember, interwar period, after World War II, 1920s and 30s, after World War I, 1920s and 30s, right? Specifically, now we're looking at Germany, right? They have the Depression, some of it brought on by the Treaty of Versailles. Okay, so let's get back. Using evidence from document 1, explain how these historical developments during the interwar period helped to achieve, maintain, and or threaten world peace. All right, so does this help achieve? I don't know if this is helping achieve or remaining. This is probably like threatening, right? Because if people are hungry, they are sometimes going to do crazy things. So first, let's talk about the spread of hunger. First, the spread of hunger can threaten world peace. If people are hungry, especially children, we can see a rise in crime or drastic or people taking drastic crazy measures to secure their safety, food, secure their well-being. Because we know that if people are hungry, that they do some not so great things. One of them could also be such as voting in a leader like Hitler. Okay. Second, there are, I would like to actually maybe talk about like Hugo Steins and August Thiessen. Right, there are some people that are maybe trying to actually maintain peace, that are trying to stem this problem. So, second, we should say, while there are people starving, there are some Germans who are trying to help the poor. They are providing food and services to, right, what are they saying? Canteens, science research, hospitals, students, to hospitals, students, and second, we should say, right, I guess we are trying to maintain. Second, while there are people starving, there are some Germans who are trying to help the poor. and maintain peace. Let's make sure we use some of these keywords that are being asked in the question. So I'm going to highlight them just so everybody can see that specifically. Okay, next, 3. Using evidence from document 1, explain why the Great War was not the last World War. Okay, I definitely think I can take some of this part up here, so like voting in Hitler. So, okay, or let's just call it what it is, what we know it is. World War I was not the last World War because the situation with the food crisis and depression in Germany, right? We know it becomes worse. Became worse. With more and more people starving and unemployed, right? Because it says, right, 3 million children and also suffering children leave the country and unemployment, right? These two parts right here. Let's see if I can circle that for you. Yeah, right there. Unemployment, suffering. Cool. So let's move forward. People starving and unemployed. They were willing to give up their personal freedoms to a dictator like Hitler. Oh, done. All right. And next, explain the extent to which the document is a reliable source of evidence for understanding how historical developments during interwar helped achieve, maintain, or threaten world peace. In your response, be sure to include the evaluation. All right, so we would ultimately decide, are they reliable, somewhat reliable, or unreliable? Well, they are in Germany, so I would say we can cross out unreliable. But I am kind of left wanting a little more. So I am going to highlight somewhat reliable. So I am going to use who's our main person, Professor Jenks. Okay, Professor Jenks is a somewhat reliable source for the interwar period. Interwar period. Let me turn the light back on real quick. And back. Okay. Okay. Jenks is somewhat reliable because he is he works as a professor, meaning that he has gone to higher levels of education and I guess what does that tell us about him? That he's educated. He should be telling the truth. We should hopefully trust educators, high level of education, and should be trustworthy with information. Also, he seems to be generally concerned for the people and children of Germany. However, he is only somewhat reliable because he does not really talk about why there is a food crisis or what is going on in the German government. So, right, notice here, definitely bring in a lot of stuff. So actually, let's do this a couple. So I have my statement, right? We have our claim that he is somewhat reliable. First, I want to build him up that he is reliable. Maybe we can even say just that he is reliable because he works as a professor, right? So this is why I think I can trust him. Professor, higher levels of education, okay, trustworthy, and that he is concerned for the people and children, right? This makes me think that he is a good source. But what is lacking, right? I gotta also like tear him down a little bit. That he's not very informative on other things that are going on, right? So he is somewhat reliable. I've got my claim. I've got my reason as one why he is reliable and reason why he is not reliable, all in my response. Somewhat because, right, and let me highlight this, does not really talk about why there is a food crisis or what's going on in the government. Let's make that red so it all, right, we got our three distinct parts. That's hard to see. Choose a better color than green. Purple. Better. Okay. Excellent. So you should do the same steps for document 2. Okay. I know that, yes, sometimes things will be moving around a little bit as you're adding in your responses. But similar as before, read this, look at the image, and then answer the 2 questions. Make sure you reference, are they achieving, maintaining, or threatening world peace? Right? I can highlight that for you to make sure you do that. Use evidence to explain why the Great War was not the last war. And then remember, you need 3 different parts. Your claim, why they're reliable, and why they're not reliable. Okay, so even if they are reliable, it is helpful to attack both ends of the spectrum. Okay, and let's move on to the last page, cause and effect relationship. So remember, it is easiest to do this when we connect the 2 points together. Document 1 leads to document 2. Okay, don't separate them, don't divide them. We have to explain how document 1, how this food crisis can lead to people voting for the Nationalist Socialist Party, which was the Nazis, right? Okay. So please make sure you use the words and phrases that help us connect as a result, for this reason, so, therefore, okay, and be to explaining how we actually have this connection. We can't just say that document 1 causes document 2, or the food crisis causes people voting for Hitler. Why does that happen? How does this food shortage get people to then vote? Okay, so it's got to be more than just this statement, right? We have to have the statement and the explanation, okay, of both. Again, I'll be online, so if you have any questions, please feel free to message me, email me, make any comments on Google Classroom. I'll be there. The notes should still be posted, but I can definitely pull that up again if you need, or post them again. Just remember, homeworks are no longer due. They are incorporated into lessons now. The tic-tac-toe project, the enduring issues essay, we will still do, but it is pushed back a week to April 8th. And we will still have our exam because we will be done with all World War II and Cold War stuff by April 1st. So we'll have our exam right after. It'll be short, nothing crazy, okay? And, we'll keep getting through this. I think we're doing a great job. I've been seeing some good engagement from people just based on our notes, not even notes, the Google Forms I posted, and who's got access and who doesn't, and the questions that you guys are asking, which are really good. All right. Again, please reach out with any problems, questions, concerns, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.